Everybody, Eunice Mason here, and today I want to talk about a subject that has been on my mind for a minute to talk about. I've been getting quite a few people asking me questions on it. Of course, I try to talk about things that I think that people really want to know the true, genuine answer to, rather than just sitting on here rambling about anything. But I think the biggest topic that I've been getting is that our people have been asking me about interracial marriages or mixing or mingling with other races outside of our Hebrew, race. Um, Black, white marriages, you know, Asian, black, Japanese and black, Kenyan or African Hamite black. Okay, this is what the word pretty much says about it. If you want to do it according to how the Most High has instructed us to do it, if you read in Deuteronomy, as far as all of the laws that we are to follow, part of the statutes and commandments, it does say that we are not to marry our daughters out to the children of a heathen nation, and we're not to marry our sons out to our oppressors. We are not to mix or mingle ourselves amongst the heathen. He wanted us to be a set apart people for a reason, because when you intermingle or interracially mix your people together, all of your customs, all of your traditions, your beliefs, and your ideologies, as far as how we were constructed or advised on how he wanted us to worship, it becomes jeopardized. You don't want to lose that by mixing cultures and mixing races, mixing beliefs. And this is why he wanted us to stay a set apart people. This was so much of a commandment until, I believe it was a book of Joshua chapter 2 and 3, when it's also in the Old Testament or Torah, where the brothers Judah and Simeon went into a pretty much a heathen or Amorite nation, and they killed all the men in the city because one person there had raped their sister Dinah. And after that, after the person had raped their sister Dinah, they wanted Jacob to allow him to marry her. And they basically said at that time, it's against our custom, it's against our Torah, it's against our belief. We are not to let our daughters marry outside of our Hebrew Israelite, family, outside of her tribe or her Israel nation. And so they made it that if anybody give their daughters or their sons to anyone outside of their Hebrew Israelite, that they should be put to death. That's how serious that is. Now, we may not like it, but that's just how serious it is. And a lot of times, I think we even need to look at the story of Samson and Delilah a little bit more closely. The first thing that Samson's mother told him was, can you not find a woman that is amongst your own people? Why do you insist on going after these Philistine women? Basically, that's what she was telling him. But he wanted Delilah. He loved Philistine women. Obviously, it was something that Delilah was doing with him in the bed that he just didn't feel like he could find somewhere else, I assume. But it caused him to break his covenant with his hair, or the promise that was given to his hair, because this woman basically was plotted on how, because she was the oppressor at the time. The Philistines were oppressing our people, and so she's basically just working for the enemy. And so some of you are laying down in the bed with your enemy. If you're sleeping with a white woman, if you're sleeping with an Asian woman, if you're sleeping with anybody outside of your nation, you literally laying down with the enemy every night. And this will jeopardize your well-being, your safety. How many black men have been hung from trees because they laid down with a white woman? And how many times have they been lied on and found themselves in prison at the mouth of a white woman or any other woman of different races? So when Samson did this literally cost him his life. But I'm going to tell you one reason why it cost him his life. He broke his covenant with the Most High, but he also broke the Torah. He broke the commandments of the Old Testament when the Most High had commanded us not to mingle ourselves with these people, not to lay with these people. The only time he would give permission to do something different if the person was conquering, if our people were conquering a city, he would say, kill all the men and children. And if it was his permission given to take the women and make them Hebrew and allow them to meld in with us, then he would give them permission. But for the most part, it was no. So when Samson lay with Delilah, he told her the secret of his strength, which is covenant's promise that he was never supposed to reveal to anybody about his hair, and he told it to her. But also, when he did that, he broke a covenant with the fact that he wasn't supposed to be laying with her and messing with her in the first place because she wasn't his people. Now, did the Most High allow him to redeem himself? Yes, when he pushed those two pillars down and the whole Colosseum fell down and destroyed thousands of Philistines that day. But the point is, it was punishable by death. He still had to die because he had intermingled himself and broke the commandments by sleeping with a Philistine, with someone that was outside of his nation, outside of his tribe. If you read closely the book of Nehemiah, Nehemiah was so angry at the men for taking these women who were of Persian descent or Assyrian descent, who were not our people. He went and he literally started slapping them. He was slapping them upside their face, ripping their beards out, telling them to get rid of these strange women. Solomon made the same mistake. He was told not to take on the strange women, the Canaanite women with their gods and their idol beliefs. He did it. It was his downfall. Solomon lost everything because of it. So this may sound like hatred to you or racism or whatever, but this is the commandment of the Most High. So it's up to you whether you want to be obedient to it or if you want to sacrifice what could happen to you by being disobedient to it. So for all you brothers, and especially, I'm going to put this out, especially for the Biafran people, the Igbo people, I know that Catholicism has brainwashed you and whitewashed you into thinking that all white is godly, all white is heavenly, and I'm seeing so many of you sleeping with the enemy. You bow down to these white women, you bow down to these white men, and you believe that there's some type of way you're going to come up in this world by being their wife or being their husband. But what you're doing is you're driving a wedge between you and the Most High. Because he's commanded us not to be with these people, not to sleep with these people. That goes for the brothers in the United States as well as all over the world. You all need to focus on getting people from your own nation, your own people. It's a reason why he said it. Because one thing about it, no matter what you say, nobody will be able to understand your plight, your situation, your hurts, your difficulties, like the person that was born into it, that's going through it with you. We are the children that are being oppressed. Why would you want to go and marry somebody who's responsible for oppressing your people? Why would you want to be of a nation that's, telling you basically, if you come and lay with me, it's going to make you forget about the fact that you're still being slowly killed, that you're still being stripped of everything. Even if you have money, you're going to give and pour your money right back into the European race, who's using those dollars to destroy you. When you give it to your white woman, when you leave it to your children, you're forfeiting your inheritance and you're passing it off to another nation. Stop hating your own people. All of us out here are not bad. If you're not bad, then you should think that there's others out here that are just like you that are not bad. So you're not the exception to the rule. And neither am I. So we must learn to love our people. We must learn to build our nation back up. And we must learn to be obedient to the Most High. That's the main thing. Obedience is better than sacrifice. And a lot of you are sacrificing yourselves, your soul, your well-being. In the long run, the Most High said, just like he destroyed Samson for it, just like he destroyed Solomon for it, he will destroy you for it. So I suggest you stick to your own people, your own kind, and stick to your laws, customs, and traditions. Because a lot of times their laws and their customs are not even like ours. There are certain things that we do that they just don't do, and vice versa. Because we have to establish ourselves according to how our God, our Creator, has told us. Read Deuteronomy, read Leviticus, and understand how important. Read the book of Nehemiah. It will tell you exactly how Nehemiah told them to get rid of them and the children. He was not playing because he wanted those curses to be lifted off of him. And that's the main thing. We want to be free from this stuff. We want to establish ourselves as a nation, as a people. So with that being said, this is the true story. Read Nehemiah, read Deuteronomy, read the chapters, research what I'm saying. He did not want us to intermingle ourselves amongst the heathens. And it is punishable by death. Good day. Most high blessings. Sorry you don't like it. But hey, if we love him, we got to love what it is he's telling us to do too. Blessings.